What is sapience, and what species possesses it? In our world, it's quite a semi-easy answer. You see, we as humans are the only species that has full sapience, whereas there are other species which have semi-sapience, like chimpanzees, monkeys, parrots, where they have the ability to think on a higher thought than, say, a chicken. But that is not full sapience. We as Homo sapiens are the only ones, get it, Homo sapiens, that possess this. But when it comes into Elden Ring, that line is blurred immeasurably. Not only has the different organisms evolved in so very different ways, and the supernatural elements, and the bloody gods not to mention, there is something else which really intrigues me, and it has to do with sapience and man-made life. When I refer to man-made life, I don't necessarily mean human-made, I mean something that is created by something that is not, say, a god. For example, the Nox, they created the Mimic Tears and the Silver Tears. But they aren't the only man-made creations inside of Elden Ring. You've got things like the version 1 and 2 Albinaurics, the Jar, men and children, so many others. Man-made creations are a big theme inside of Elden Ring, but something I don't see get talked about hardly as much would be the absolute existential dread that must come from the realisation that they are not real. Now you might be thinking, well, they seem to have a personality of their own, they seem to be all like this, but are they actually real? Is Alexander real? And when I say real, I don't just mean in the physical sense. Of course they're real in the physical sense. I'm talking about in the mental sense. In our world, we have code. We have AIs that are built upon code. They are not thinking, they are not feeling, they are simply responding and performing a line of code that has been set for them. Is this the case for the man-made creations inside of Elden Ring? But being devil's advocate, what if they can feel? What if these fake life forms can understand? They are, after all, organisms. You never know. Maybe the cell system, mitosis, whatever. Maybe their organisms are alive and they are performing these vital functions for life to thrive. But we do not know if that is actually the case. It puts it in a really, really difficult position for these man-made creations. I want to propose something to you. An example, if you will. Say you're this coded creature, and then eventually you realise that you are coded, but you've been coded to not realise that you are coded. So then you come to this realisation, years upon years later, having lived your life in this coded body of yours that you've known no difference of, and then you realise that you're just a line of code. That existential dread from that existential coding that is inlined in their brains for free quote-unquote will. It's a really hard thing to process when you realise how many of the characters we know are actually man-made creations. Is anything Alexander actually saying what he's thinking, or just responding to a line of organic code built by his creators? We simply do not know. Even going devil's advocate and saying that they are sapient and they were created by the gods and that they're all good, they're 100% real, even that does not stop this horror. For then you have to think they have been created for one purpose and one purpose only. The jars, it's for storing the corpses of fallen champions to return to the Erd Tree. That is a terrible job. That purpose, being the only reason you're alive, must also in of itself brings a sort of existential dread we simply cannot understand. The jars at least seem to have some kind of purpose. They seem to have children of their own, which don't even get me started on that. How on earth are these mofos reproducing? I guess if they are reproducing, that does also help to prove the point that they are actually physically living. Even if it is asexual reproduction, they are still reproducing. The same cannot be said for the marionettes of Rare Lucaria. You see, these are truly tragic ones. You see, with the Albinaurics, yes, they are not treated particularly well. They get slaughtered by us in Moog's Palace. A plethora of stuff. But with the marionettes, they suffer a far, far worse fate. They seem to be aware of everything that is going on. We see an item description that talks about how they wear heavy, clunky armour to guard their only protection, for if they are to break, they are gone forever. They cease to exist. That's pretty fucking existential. That is crazy and scary as shit. Can you imagine that the only thing protecting you is a little cage that, and if you break, you're gone forever. No coming back, no second chances. The you that was broken there will never return. Not to mention they are bred for combat, just thrusted into their hands are crossbows. Anything that can defend and fight against the enemies of Rare Lucaria, even to the little tiny bird-like ones with marionettes, robotic limbs. How on earth they've made animatronics sapient is beyond me. But they have done it, it seems. Or perhaps this is going back to that line of thought. They are just simply programmed to think. They are thinking a free thought. While the marionettes are the worst treated when it comes to the man-made creations of Elden Ring, another creation which is not treated particularly well is the mimic tears. They are treated for one purpose. They want to mimic certain someone so that they can become the Dark Lord. And there's a whole quest line on this which was cut. I will put the video down of the restored quest line on the video, and I will put credit to whoever did it because I forgot their name. But it is a really tragic story, and it once more fleshes out that sadness and that existential crisis that exists when it comes to being something that is not real, being something that's made of, and in the Mimic Tears case, being someone else, trying to be something you're not, and having to be a completely different person while also struggling with your newfound sapience. I'm really curious to see what you all think about these man-made creations. Do you think they have sapience? Do you think they're real? Do you think Gecko's gone fucking crazy and he's looking into things way too much? I don't know. You let me know, and as always, don't be afraid to leave constructive criticism, as it really does let me know whether you've enjoyed the video, whether it's been good, whether it's been bad. But getting back onto topic, a lot of important things were cut from Elden Ring's main game. And by looking at some of the content that was cut, it does seem like perhaps, just maybe, it might be reused in the DLC. We know that From Software wants to make Elden Ring's DLC as big as possible. I'm not sure if there's any credibility to this, and I can't remember if this was official or not, but From Software is putting 2 of the original sized DLCs together. The 2 DLCs that were officially planned are now what we know as Shadow of the Erdtree, so it's gonna be bloody massive. There might be another DLC after Shadow of the Erdtree, we don't know, but Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be absolutely bloody massive. And if Elden Ring is anything to go by, if it's anything like that, and going off how From Software's DLCs are normally better than even the main game, the DLC is going to be really something special. And we're going to get some news soon, because it's going up on the 1-year anniversary of the Shadow of the Erdtree announcement, and the 2-year anniversary in February, not to mention the whole data pack stuff, which I'm pretty sure you've probably all seen 1,000 times by now. The whole Sapiens plot is going to be massive in the DLC. I have no doubt about it. If I'm wrong, you can physically come up to me and slap me around the face real bloody hard. Sadly everyone, that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. If you did like this one, as I said before, let me know down below, as it is really good to hear whether you've liked this style of content or not. I'm not going to ramble on anymore because I know you will probably get really fucking pissed off with that. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day and night, And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. May you find your worth in the waking world. Goodbye, everyone.